Hi, I'm Chris Allen, Chief Engineer here at Sear Sound in New York City. So this is just a small selection of our 280 plus microphone collection. This is Studio C, which was built built in 2000. Walter moved into the 6th floor upstairs and to what was the old Hit Factory in, I think, 1989. So Studio A upstairs and Studio C down here are our 2 main live rooms. With a lot of mics. So some of the choice microphones we have here, I think we have 6 C12As, 7 U67s, 5 U47s. Our 563s, we have 3 of them with various capsules, M7, M8, M9, quite a few custom capsules built for us as well. A lot of bottle mics, original RFT bottle mics actually. Again, with the modular, the bayonet style swappable capsules. Our ribbon collection is kind of ridiculous. 4 holes. We have, I believe, 6 RCA 77s, 4 RCA 44s. We have so many U87s that we use them as talkback mics during sessions. That's not a joke. One of the big reasons we have so many mics, Walter, if he heard something that he thought had a purpose, if it sounded good on something, didn't really matter what it was, he would buy it. And he always tried to get the best deal he could, but if a microphone was brand new and he thought it was phenomenal, he would pay whatever he needed to pay to get it. He did that for 45 years. So our collection of 280 plus microphones is just a 45 years of him hearing things that he liked. Walter was always a fan of the microphones. I think when I got here, all we had was the 44CX. And of course, as a young 20-something-year-old, I was, why would you use a new mic when the old guys are right there for a little while? And Walter every day he'd see a 44 out and he'd say, you should try the AEA. You should try the AEA. So I finally did, and I haven't stopped using it since. So yeah, then eventually we tried out an R84, and Walter always claimed that he had been giving Wes some advice about the ribbon length, and said, "Now this is going to be a ribbon mic you're going to want to hear," and we listened to it, and I've been using it every day since then as well. Then eventually the R88 showed up and we demoed that, and I think it was in this building for about 45 minutes before Walter went back into the office and called Wes and said, we'll take it. So it's all Walter. Walter was a big fan of the company and a big fan of Wes's work, and you can't disagree with that, man. He knew what he was talking about. The R88 is almost never not on the piano around here. And if there's no piano, then we put it up as a room mic. String room, horn room, doesn't matter. It's always up somewhere. They're probably the hardest working mics we have here. My little secret favorite pair of microphones that I don't tell anybody about because I want to own as many of them as I can. So the more I talk about them, the higher the price gets, is Neumann Gefell M582s with the M58 Omni capsules. That combined with the AEA R84 is my jazz drum sound. I mean, that's my cymbal overhead sound, and more to capture the whole kit than anything else. But the R84, if it's not, it's overheads. I recently had it on Randy Brecker for flugelhorn. Use it Tony Shear for upright bass. Christian McBride for upright bass. Trumpet, bass, guitar amps, saxophones. It's pretty much anything. And same with the 44CX. It's if I'm not using the 84 on it, I'm probably using the 44. I very rarely EQ, and compression is extremely minimal, especially on the jazz records, because we have this incredibly clear console, and we have a mic collection that if something sounds too fat or it's not bright enough, instead of reaching for an EQ, I just go find another microphone. And I think that is probably one of the biggest reasons why I am proud of most of my recordings, is it's not beat into shape. It just happened that way. And I think, the less you have in the path, the better, is always been what I've been taught, and it's always been the truth when I've experimented otherwise. So definitely the mic collection is a huge part of just being able to just leave it alone. Just put it in the right place and capture the sound and move on. I think that's really important. This is my usual, typical piano setup. As I was saying before, the C24 inside, nice and bright and close, and the R88 outside. One of the few times where I spaced the two mics, a ribbon and a condenser, but definitely widens the sound of the piano and warms it up quite a bit. The bloom line outside of a piano, the stereo image is amazing. Two different, the XY versus the bloom line is nice, but you get the C24 kind of fills up the space in here. The R88 kind of fills up the outer edges. So the stereo image with the two of them together is very, fluid from left to right, from the extreme left to extreme right. It's basically an even blend of all three mics. So the N22 in mono at the tail, and then C24 R88 hard pan left and right, stereo. Yeah, no EQ, everything printed at the same level, roughly the same level, and totally even blended the three.
What do you feel the N22 brings to the table?
It's filling out the center really, really nicely. It's not overbearingly fat. It's not muddying anything up at all. The high end is really nice, like very smooth and clear. A lot of times, putting a ribbon mic that far inside a piano causes a lot of problems with the real low, but it's working out really nice. That's a big piano, so it can get really muddy really easily. Without it. See, I would normally be perfectly happy with this sound until you start hearing that and you take it away and it makes it sound smaller. Walter once said, it sounds like my piano.